podcast now on iTunes and Spotify, or I'll fucking kill you.
It's time for the Dudes and the Dudes podcast.
Featuring SG,
What's up, everybody?
Dick Sassy,
You better believe it.
DK Murphy, special guest Jeff Nelligan, and your host, Chuck Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Booze and the Dudes podcast. We are here live, and we have a special guest today. He wrote the book Be the Ball, and that is the book right there. Go ahead and show it off, SG. He was nice enough to send us a few books, and it's an awesome book. It is his
SG, can you get a little closer? It's got glare on my shit.
right there. There it is. And you can purchase it on Amazon, also at NelliganBooks.com. Link in the bio. But it is his thesis on the movie Caddyshack, and it is a must read. So, with further ado, we'd like to present the one and only Jeff Nelligan, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jeff Nelligan. Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, man, I'm just happy to be with you guys tonight, man, in your freaking ultra 22nd century studio there you got working.
That's it, aka the garage, the man cave. Jeff was nice enough to send us this book, Be the Ball, and it's basically his thesis on the movie The Caddyshack. So it's definitely a classic. If you guys haven't watched it,
It's not the Caddyshack.
It's not-
Caddyshack.
what is it?
It's just Caddyshack.
Yeah, Caddyshack. What do you guys good question me? The Caddyshack.
said
It's
the.
Caddyshack.
Yeah.
I knew it was Caddyshack.
They're secretly like Nazis right here.
Yeah, these guys trying to sabotage me, Jeff.
It's a thesis, bro. We got to get everything right.
Oh, everything.
You can't fuck
Come
with
on.
it.
I read this. I was like a chimp. Okay. But these guys understood it. Jesse's been in school for like 17 years, Jeff. This guy's been in school for so long. So he's like, I get it. I was like, all right, cool. And Richard, obviously, he read it too. And I, like I said, it's an interesting read. You've watched the movie several hundred times. Or at least
you
100.
haven't introduced anybody. He doesn't know who you are.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, absolutely, guys. I'm a bad host today. Okay, I'm not a point.
Sassy.
We did a training before this, and me and SG here drinking was boxing, so we're like completely kind of wore out a little bit. But anyways, this is SG.
What's going on,
This
Jeff?
is
Hey, man,
DK Murphy.
DK.
And this is Richard Dick Sassy. You can call him Dick Sassy.
Or just
in the back.
Sassy.
Yeah, Dick. Yeah, just call him Sassy.
Yeah.
Sassy Dick.
It's not. It shouldn't be that offensive of a name, but people just don't like saying it out loud.
But in military style, it'd be badass. You sassy dick.
That's
It's like, that's
true.
some shit.
Would he get beat in the military if his name was Dick Sassy?
Yeah, he definitely would. My drill sergeant would take care of him.
Without a doubt.
My son would take care of him.
What if I change my last name to Power? I'll become the general. Weeks.
General Powers.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, take us through this. Take us through this book, Jeff.
You got it, man. Hey, you kind of said it before during the intro. Comedy transcends, man, generations. And I'll tell you, I've heard more Caddyshack lines from my three sons, and out of all of age 11, and now up to 25, as well as people then in my age group who were around when the movie debuted in 1980, and every male in between, cavemen, which is pretty much all American males.
This guy right here.
I'm a founding member of the cavemen. You can see the cave behind me.
Oh, there you go.
They all get the movie, just like they all get Animal House. And that's why I wrote it. I've watched it. When you said, how many times have you seen Caddyshack? My reply to that is, you mean today?
That's badass, dude.
And I wanted to, I love the movie so much. I've been quoting it my entire life, as have virtually every person I've ever been around in politics, when I was in the service, in the Army, when I was in the federal government. Everywhere I've been, I've lived in 9 cities. Every city, there was a cadre of guys who were quoting Caddyshack all the time.
That's cool.
I wanted to write a book about the movie, and suddenly it appeared to me, how could I do it without just talking about the movie? By doing it as a PhD thesis for Faber College, where knowledge is good.
That's so crazy, dude. Yeah, I was like our buddy was talking about.
Allow it.
Yeah, like he was kind of understanding. I'm all like, dude, it's fucking literally his whole thesis, like from the beginning to the end. That's what it is.
What were you trying to get out of this when you started writing? Like, what was the idea in your head?
You know, super question. I wanted to write something that could make fun of academia, because only in academia could something like this be taken seriously. And it was a great vehicle to say, I'm going to look at this movie like I'd look at frickin' Hamlet, or I'd look at Gone with the Wind, you know, some serious.
Yeah, Hamlet too.
Hamlet 1 and 2.
Hamlet, you know, shrieking into the wind with the 3 witches. I thought the idea would be people who would take this seriously as some piece of, you know, intellectual art. And so that's how the idea came about. And of course, you have to write it for Faber College. There's no other college in the country that would take it, obviously. But
Yeah, I mean,
so that's how it evolved. And I thought, how could you approach it? And always academics look at character development and the synergistic look at, you know, the complex ego and psyche of these characters. Well, so that's how I decided to break it down, as you can see by the chapters.
Yeah.
Each of the main characters getting a chapter. And then I just sat outside with a carton of Marlboros and about a case of Red Bull over the summer every day after work, and just wrote it, sitting there laughing like a freaking maniac. So, and that's how it came about.
I just now picture you like you're watching Caddyshack and you're just like thinking about the scene where Spalding like throws up in the car.
Oh yeah.
And he's just,
How do I explain this for
Yeah.
metaphor.
Yeah,
What's the meaning of that?
You know what's crazy is like a movie like that. If you did it nowadays, it'd be considered like sexual harassment or whatever, right? But
Exactly.
yet there's music that's passed off right now like it's art, and it's so beautiful and it's like progressive. And it's like, so we can kill comedy, even though it's everything being done in those movies is in the name of comedy. So
Yes.
it's joking. It's a joke on itself. It's parodying life.
Yeah.
But yet we have music that's telling us nope, and it wags its finger. Like for our generation, it's the one-liners is Dumb and Dumber. We're always throwing one-liners at each other. That's
Right.
like our generation's Caddyshack. But we still grew up watching our parents' things, Stripes, all the good stuff.
especially if they're good. Like,
Yeah, especially if
they
they're
hold
good.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays I can't really name too many comedies. I don't know if you guys can, that you can just recite, hey, that one has a lot of good one-liners.
It's true.
That
Not
one
much,
holds up.
dude.
Some,
Yeah.
I can think of 1 or 2, but like
Yeah,
Name
you
it.
watch a lot though.
I'm a humongous
Yeah,
movie
tell
nerd,
me.
and I really, really like love Caddyshack. I love a lot of Bill Murray's early stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of Bill Murray in general, because he actually knows like, hey, I'm an old man now. No one really wants to see me unless I,
Yeah, like all his Wes Anderson flicks. Like,
Yeah.
they're awesome. Yeah, I mean, he's still funny.
There's this thing I want to just kind of pitch to you. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Sure.
Don't
So-
ask for money.
Cash.
I've been losing a track lately there, bud.
Bitcoin.
So how much would a security guard
You-
get with a doctorate?
Can I write my thesis on-
He's the only security guard with a PhD.
Doctor security guard. But no, for reals. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys that have created South Park. The whole idea behind South Park was, how do you make a Archie Bunker character nowadays? Oh, you make him a fat little kid.
Yeah.
Now I kind of see that theory nowadays. I mean, there was that movie Good Boys, which is about 3 little kids getting into mischief, but
Oh yeah.
but they're cussing and there's drug references in it. And so, what do you think about that? Where you have to kind of like
That fine line.
Hide behind children.
sneak the dirty joke into a movie or a story.
Yeah, there's not. That's the thing about Caddyshack. It's not too vulgar. I mean, you have the one or the 2 kind of
Dirty jokes.
sexual
But, I mean, it's real
intimacy
quick.
scenes, but there's not a lot of cursing in it. There's not a lot of innuendo. It goes back to the writers of a South Park, for example. The writers are so good that they make these characters, even animated, funny. In Caddyshack, you didn't, animation wasn't even a part of the movie scene or film scene then. But the characters themselves, because of the writing and their own ad-libbing throughout the entire production of the film, made it funny. And what a range of actors. I mean, all these guys were total pros. Danny Noonan, Michael O'Keefe, even before he won that, even before he was in Caddyshack, had won awards for movies prior to that. Rodney Dangerfield had been in every club in New York City and around the country. Ted Knight had scored big with Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
Murray had just come off of, some stuff, I want to say Meatballs, or it was prior to Meatballs, but they Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So you had these established guys with good writers who didn't have to do anything vulgar. And that's why you're still saying the crazy lines from it.
Yeah. So
I think the only the really dirtiest joke in Caddyshack that I would imagine. But never mind the nudity.
Yeah.
It's when he's like stroking the ball cleaner.
Mrs. Crane,
Yeah.
I'm watching you. You were green today so you could hide. Yeah.
Oh man, you guys would have fun watching that movie.
I know.
Movie.
Or not, no, it is, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just hearing you guys right now. You guys are the best.
How do you feel about Ghostbusters? Because they've got that one really fucked up scene where the ghost gives Dan Aykroyd a blowjob.
Oh, the original one.
Oh, the original. I
Yeah.
think I meant the new one.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Again, if you're going into vulgar, you're trying to get, to try and rope in some more people.
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of a cheap way out.
I was
because
just
if
about
you're-
to ask you that.
Yeah.
I think if you're a really good writer, you don't have to rely upon that. And maybe that's just because, my advanced age. I'm 82 years old.
What? Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
Also, dude, tell me what you buy grocery list.
Yeah.
Email me that shit. I will fucking eat it every day.
Yeah.
What is the secret?
Pepsi.
Tuna.
Pork.
But I think, just pure comedy, if it stays away from the vulgarity and the innuendo, the coarse language and everything,
Yeah.
that's really about, that's apex of writing. And it's also stuff you can quote around everybody because it's clean.
It holds up and shit, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Like Bill Cosby.
Like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I can't quote all bullshit aside, I can't quote one joke from that guy.
He wasn't funny to me.
Thank you. I don't think he was funny.
Oh man, I used to know one.
But this is a guy who would, again, a wag, one of those finger waggers, don't be dirty.
Yeah,
It's
don't
like,
be
but
this.
look at the life you are actually leading. You guys over here telling us like our comedy is going too far.
Well,
Okay,
it's a
like
cancel
what he's
culture
saying
thing.
with that, like modern day comparison, like we talked about it a little bit before, but now that we're on the podcast, I mean, what did you notice that the way you had to write it different today? Because if you wrote this back when the movie came out, it would just been like, these people are awesome. Look at how cool they are, and here's why you should watch this movie. But nowadays, explaining this as a thesis, you're more like, this means this, in case you aren't paying attention. If you only see that it's a girl and she's just showing off her top, you only see that. But in reality, this was happening. Like the way you broke down this whole thing, like I was telling him the whole thing about Ty, like how you basically said it. You're like, yeah, his name's short for Tycoon. Like, think about it. It's like, oh shit. Once you see that and then you watch the movie again, you're like, oh my God, like the whole time you only see that.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of your book. I just like the way you wrote it out. I was just like, oh shit, that's the only way I see it now.
The way, that was kind of why I kind of hid behind the PhD thesis thing. You could write it in this stilted language that just it sounds like gibberish. I mean, if you read through it, it's just, this is insanity. This is pretentious academic speak.
Yep.
And it's built for this age
Not
because
that
there's
bad. We
a
had
bit of-
another book. It was way worse. Like at least this I could read it straight through. It was fun to read.
That's because this was comedy. That's why.
Yeah, it
We were
was
just
funny.
talking. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't satire. Yeah, you're right.
and it also too it has, just as you mentioned earlier, it has that woke feel to it.
Yeah. That's what I caught right out.
All
Every
these-
so often I was
all
like,
these-
what?
The author taking himself seriously,
Mhm.
and his deep thoughts about these people, these characters who are very simple people.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
and that's the satire part of it too, is you could only pull this off if you just went overboard on making it, as I said again, kind of this academic gibberish and pretension.
It there's that movie PCU. It's like that his senior thesis is about a movie. That's the best thing about today. You can major in Game Boy if you know how to bullshit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, like
Yeah.
he actually knows. Like, no joke. I was also explaining to, but I'm like, dude, there's people that write theses on freaking Harry Potter books. Like, it's
Right.
retarded. Like, that's why, like, when I was explaining to him, I'm like, dude, he wrote this to get his master's, and he's like, bullshit. And I'm like, no, dude, seriously, like, read it. And he's all, I don't get that. And I'm like, dude, every thesis has to be different. That's what's crazy.
Well,
At
it's a
least
joke.
for you, it's cool that you wrote something on something that you actually have interest in. I mean, I've heard of other people who are like, yeah, I had to write this. Like, it sucks, but I had to do it.
Yeah, right.
So,
And the movie, because you mentioned another thing about the generational, is I found in the sales of the book and in talking to lots of people, and like we did a Zoom call, a buddy of mine, golfer and caveman, just like all of us. He's over 18. He's an American male, and Danny Noonan got on the Zoom call, Michael O'Keefe, and to hear him talk about the movie and about comedy back then and about the roles of everyone in it, it's, you
got to figure from his point of view, it would have been the shit. He's like, just the regular guy in the movie, and everybody else is like ridiculously famous. So he's around all these actual legit actors that are still on the come up, but
yeah,
they're legit people.
Right.
Just lucked out to be in that movie. Like, why wouldn't you? That'd be great.
Yeah, and they all were. And he was a really good guy, and he lives in upstate New York. And he carried a bag at the Masters in the last Masters, because he wanted to kind of, write off the Caddyshack stuff, but also too because he's just an utterly normal guy, and he stayed on the Zoom call for an hour answering all questions about the movie and how it was made. And
he was my favorite part of Hudson Hawk.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Hudson Hawk.
I don't know if you ever saw him in that.
In what?
Hudson Hawk.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's my question for you now. Can you watch Caddyshack 2?
No. Oh man, that's some bad juju, brother. Oh gosh.
My thing is, I actually saw part 2 before I saw part 1.
No, stop the madness. You gotta be kidding me.
I was a little kid. I didn't know what I was doing.
He saw
Okay.
He saw Return to Oz before he saw The Wizard.
But I was watching that, and then I see the original. I'm kind of like, oh wow, this is dog shit.
Have you seen the new Cats? He watches all the new shit. I didn't know there was an original.
Have you seen Die Hard 6 first?
Oh man,
That's the best one.
I'll pass.
Makes you.
What about
hungry.
Fast and the Furious 19?
Well, did you know that there's actually a movie about the writer of Caddyshack in Animal House?
Yeah, the guy named what's his name? Kennehy?
Douglas Kenny.
Yeah, boy, tragic deal, man.
He
fell,
overdosed, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, he overdosed or fell off of a cliff in Hawaii. I know.
Those are the two options.
At the same time,
Both happen at the same
I'm
time.
pretty sure you did both.
Yeah.
I hope he was hallucinating then.
I don't know which one was first.
He overdosed on the way down.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a
fucking awesome.
I know, and it's the thing is it was not long after the movie came out. It was probably came out in June of 80. He did
spending all that money. All that money. He was just going up his nose and his veins, whatever. He was just partying.
Yeah.
Man.
And he perished about like 4 or 5 months later. But that's a great point. Both Animal House and Caddyshack. And he was the producer, right? He wasn't a producer, but he was a writer and kind of a pseudo director along with Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
I mean, total genius guy to get two of these movies that are remembered still today. Yeah.
And I remember him in Animal House. He didn't say much, but he had that look.
Oh, he pops up.
Yeah.
Right. He was the stork.
Yeah.
That was him. Yeah.
That's just crazy.
But so have you seen the movie about his life?
No, I haven't, but I've read a ton about him because I've read every book on Caddyshack, and there's only 2 others besides mine.
So monopoly wise, you're pretty good.
It took me almost a week. I mean, it was killing me. But those books contain a lot about him. I mean, I would say a third of each book is about this guy.
No shit.
And
Douglas Kenny, yeah.
and so it just what an amazing guy. And he was also one of like the big drivers behind National Lampoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a famous magazine.
Oh, especially when it first started, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's whatever.
And you remember? Well, you remember just
Yeah, I remember it was
that
good.
iconic picture of the gun against the dog's head, and the dog's like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Right. Yeah, and he says, if you don't give me your money, I'm going to shoot the dog or something like that. Yeah. He was a total talent. And he wrote those things, and then he just, he vanished, man. It's a weird deal. And the franchise continued, National Lampoon, because they did all the they did the Vacation series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still hold up too.
Oh yeah, I know. There's a Christmas Vacation Part 2. That's great. That's really great.
It's really fucking awful.
There is?
Yes, it's
don't bother.
Cousin Eddie's Island Vacation, starring Randy Quaid.
Oh my gosh, he's going to be governor of California. That's right.
Oh, what? He's running too?
Oh yeah, he's in, man.
I just know about Miss Jenner.
My mom's friend is running for governor too.
Caitlin? Yeah.
No, my mom's not Caitlin.
No, I said your mom's friend.
My mom's not Caitlyn Jenner.
No, I said his friend. He said my mom's friend.
My mom's friend is not Caitlin.
Caitlyn Jenner's got some huge hot hands, man. Did you see those hands?
She used to be a
No,
man.
hot, like a hot, like they're talons.
Hands?
No, I said hawk.
She used to be a man, right?
I said Joe Montana.
God.
Do you watch Saturday Night Live at all?
God.
Again, you talk about writing.
Yeah.
Bad writing.
Unbelievable.
Well, you're talking about back in the day, right? Not now.
I like now.
Oh, I look at all the stuff from Chevy Chase and Murray, Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Chris Rock.
When Bill Murray was on a ton.
Yeah. I was actually
Harley. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was
He's
I
right
used to
here.
do this a thing where I did little YouTube videos biographying the members of Saturday Night Live, and I started with the early cast. And I thought it was I thought their background relation, most of them, of course, either coming from Second City or National Lampoon,
Right.
where they
That's
worked
correct.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any truth to that movie, the movie about Doug Kenny is that he was really like hating Lorne Michaels because he basically stole all of his talent.
Them sucks.
Right.
Makes sense.
I can believe it. Lorne Michaels sucks, and he just accepts whatever. SNL is dog shit writing nowadays.
How do you really feel?
It's all woke bullshit. SNL.
He's I need
Look,
to tell you about my
here's
next
what bugs me.
project.
Here's what bugs me. You got SNL. You have a platform for the whole world to see, and we don't see comedy. We see people like out there protesting. Like, this is a show where I'm supposed to laugh, right? And at the end of it, I'm just left feeling like, God, I shouldn't want to go back in time travel just so I can laugh. But at the end of these shows and movies nowadays and books I see everywhere, it's just agenda everywhere. I see it.
They did one about Asian suppression, and it was the worst bit I've ever seen. And I only watched it because it was a clip from a show. It wasn't like, I don't watch SNL.
Yeah.
Like, it's garbage, seriously. I think like the dude from Good Burgers on there. And
he's still on there.
He's
He'll
still
never
on
leave.
there. Yeah, it's not good.
He's like their ambassador, their non-funny ambassador.
Not funny.
Just wave the white flag.
Yeah.
So any other books in the works?
Yeah. Well, I wrote 2 previous books to this one. They were kind of a warm-up. One was about my sons, and my sons are total badasses. They're all 3 are military officers. And
we don't have that going on here.
General Powers.
Yeah.
With that said, tell them thank you for their service.
Yeah.
Thank
you
and
for
one
their
of
service.
Yeah. One of them's named Sassy Dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Sassy Dick, bro.
Sergeants.
But you got to emphasize. One of his name is Sassy Dick. Never mind.
Yeah, so what I did is I wrote a book about my 3 sons, and then I wrote a book about being in politics for all these years, in which a lot of Caddyshack lines were thrown, let me tell you.
I know
I
for
was
sure
gonna ask that.
we're all about that because like I'm really big on social and political stuff. Sassy over here is big time on that. Yeah,
Really?
that was some questions we had for you. Yeah, especially knowing that you work for 2 different presidents, right?
Yeah, I worked for Bush 43 and Bush 41. I was a
Oh,
presidential appointee.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2 different presidents, not the two different terms, but that's still
No,
cool.
No. They
Four-
were
40
he worked for
Kentucky
the
Bush.
dad and the son.
Yeah.
Oh
He was
shit!
saying the number of the president, like
Oh.
now it's what, 46?
I just heard Bush.
You didn't know that? Oh my god.
I just heard
that's
Bush.
Embarrassing.
I just heard Bush.
This guy says he was
First this guy,
educated.
then this fucking
He didn't know there was two Bush presidents.
I thought he meant the fucking beer company.
Yeah, he thought he was the beer company.
1941 Bush.
Which is funny because now I think about it, Bush didn't ever win the second time. Older Bush, he only won the one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
and what's his name? Little guy
Clinton.
fucked it up. No, Clinton won, but who's the little guy?
Jimmy
Ross
Carter?
Perot. Ross Perot fucking fucked him supposedly with the numbers.
No, he didn't
You
fuck-
gotta-
if
you gotta
anybody got
get
fucked
Oh
that.
no, I don't believe that, but that's what they swear. They're like Ross Perot messed it up. I'm like Ross Perot just like taught people a lot of shit.
It
Like,
wouldn't be prudent to keep running your mouth. Just kidding.
19% of the vote, man.
Yeah.
I
mhm.
mean, that's what he won with. I mean, that's what Perot had. Clinton had 46 and Bush 41. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty close.
Did
But so go ahead. I'm sorry.
did you actually have any interaction with them?
No, not either one. I mean, I met them both, but I was just, with one job, I was with the Department of State. I was like the bag man, the fixer for the Deputy Secretary of State.
Sounds badass.
Yeah, it was a blast. I went to about 70 countries all over the world.
Nice.
What's the coolest one that nobody talks about?
Indonesia.
That sounds
Oh.
nice. Yeah.
Bunch of volcanoes going off.
Who cares? Cheap as shit, I bet over there.
Bunch of volcanoes.
A bunch of volcanoes.
Big old Java thing going down. Yeah,
It's just a big volcano.
Yeah.
The plane lands in a
All right.
secret volcano location.
that was where we were.
Oh, that's fucking
But
bad.
Just
so
imagine you going to Barbara Bush and being like, you want to make $14 the hard way?
I knew we brought you for a reason.
must have been something before electricity.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm out.
You
I'm pretty sure the
yourself.
Secret Service guy would have laughed too. Like, oh shit. That's freaking awesome.
It's funny, but I gotta kill you.
Do you remember the Barbara Bush
Right.
chia pets?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, those were hilarious.
Really?
Of course,
I wish
got
I had one.
I think
This
these
is
were
way
called
back
Barbara's-
machine, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking like 1990, 1991, man.
Yeah, we're kids. Yeah, we have one.
My dad had a bunch of them. He was trying to sell them on the side. It was called Barbara's Bush.
Your dad-
Chia pets.
.com.
So bad.
He was a chia pet dealer.
Are you guys in LA, by the way?
Starting to come in
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little
Are you
bit.
guys in Los Angeles?
Nah,
Very close, about an hour out.
yeah.
I'm from Los Angeles area,
In the Inland Empire.
but
So,
yeah, then I moved in Inland Empire with these fucking.
I grew up in Woodland Hills, born in Santa Monica.
Oh,
Nice,
sure.
Okay.
beautiful area
Yeah.
back then.
What do you mean?
Yeah, back
Well, the
then.
bums, they've taken over everything. Haven't
So
you heard?
what got you into that, Jeff? Obviously, you have a lot of
Skills.
military, and you got
Yeah,
good
you got
skills.
and shit.
But what got you into that? Was it straight out of college?
Yeah, I went a little bit. I wanted to get a skill like the skills you guys have working those mics. So I became a journalist and I worked in New York City and San Diego. And then I went back east to work on Capitol Hill. So I worked for a succession of members. I worked for 3 members of Congress. And in between, I had these jobs as a presidential appointee. And then, so it's been a great run. I've been really lucky. Now, when you're on campaigns, your guy loses, you lose your job. So that's happened too. But all
Yeah,
in
but I
all,
bet the fun part's fucking cool. Like when everything's going great, and you're like, hell yeah, this is cool.
yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't get better. You're
Would
around
you
a lot
compare
of
it to like a
power.
sports team or something? Like where it's like we feel like we all won together type thing?
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're working for a big organization and everyone, the political appointees, man, they'd run over Granny on a street corner. They're committed. They're zealous.
Yeah.
You hear that, Mom? Look out.
You're all, she said she was a Democrat. Bam.
Damn elephant.
So
I only see elephants when I'm running over.
you love that kind of feeling of teamwork and, accomplishment.
Camaraderie and shit.
And then you lose, and then I mean, I was with McCain in 2008 during his campaign, and I was in
Is he as
Ohio.
cool as they say he is?
Well, yeah, he's passed away now, but he
Oh,
was
it's not is, it's was.
really jumped.
Sorry.
Oh, he's really cold right now.
Dumbass.
Sorry.
Did you know he's dead?
God, who's this guy?
First he thinks Bush is a beer
Was
company.
he cool back then?
Yeah, first he didn't know there was two Bushes. Now he didn't even know McCain was dead.
No, what's fucked up is I almost referenced that last week we talked about McCain when you guys were all like, I heard he fucking wasn't even really a. I'm like, what? I was all I was thinking about. I was like,
Raising
trying not to say
So,
that.
anyways, to your question,
Yeah, I heard he was a cool guy back then, at least.
Yeah, but I mean, I was in an airport in Columbus. We had just lost the day before, and I was moving out, and you know, I thought I wasn't sure. Yes, he wasn't going to win. We knew probably a month before, but we're still working for him because it's McCain, you know.
Yeah.
And I worked in a bunch of states for him: Florida, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. But I was sitting at the airport, Columbus Airport, and I was outside, you know, out by the departures, and I was smoking a cigarette and I had a cup of coffee, and I was in the suit that had been slept in, and I hadn't shaved. My hair was all wild. And all of a sudden this bus pulls up, and it's full of the Obama guys who fucking won the state. Yeah,
This girls in
what they were
bikinis.
doing.
Bathhouse Barry.
You know, they're all about 25, and they're all in Levi's and t-shirts. And I'm sitting there in this suit, and some chick comes over and she goes, "Oh, you know, sorry," because her all their posters had fallen against my leg as I was sitting there blowing mine.
that wasn't an accident.
Yeah, and I guess she goes, "Oh, you know, I'm really sorry, sir." And I said, "You don't know how sorry I am."
All right,
I know. Real quick. I wish I was there. I would have been like, hey, just heads up. I know, congratulations and everything, but you guys are gonna have to fucking buy some new clothes because there's a dress code at the White House. And it's not fucking slacks. Like, what the fuck? Dude, that's horrible, dude.
And they were the winners, and I was the loser, and I was about 20 years older than them, and that's just the way it works, you know. But it was a good run, and then so I had time to write the books, and then of course the Caddyshack thing just kept coming back to me like a freaking nightmare. I got to write something, and all my guys were in college.
I got a
So-
challenge for you.
Yeah,
Recast Caddyshack using
Ooh.
presidents and first ladies.
Oh.
oh man. So Rodney would be like Biden, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he would. Yes, he fucking would.
Yes.
Mitch Nails would be like Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, okay. I was thinking Ty would be what, like Junior Bush?
He'd be Bill Clinton.
Bill, nah.
Yeah, but so it's just, you know, it's been a great run. It's like you guys with your show, man. You know, you just do it because you love the hell out of it and you get something out of it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hell yeah.
And I think I'm going to write, my next book's going to be on Match.com.
Why? Okay. I'm
Okay.
curious.
Okay, real quick, because I know you're gonna have to research other things. Look up FetLife, FET.
I'm writing it down,
No,
baby.
Look up FETLIF.com. If you can get into it, they give you a free membership or something. Look up.
Is there
FetLife?
no E?
It's just Fet.
Yeah,
FETLI.
FetLife. Not fetish.
Uh-huh.
It's a
No, he
it's
said
a
he said
website.
LIF, not
Oh.
LIFE.
It's kind of like Facebook for kinky
Spelling
people.
life
It's
wrong.
match.com, but for like the kinkiest of kinky. So just use it as a reference point. Be like, hey, if you're into weird shit, there's this website for you too. But match.com's a nice one. Like,
His whole family's on it.
He's got it.
All
TK.
probably are too. That's the sad.
What's your username?
Sam's Branch
What's
2020.
your username in case he gets a background password? All
Oh.
access.
You don't want to see my dick.
Security squash.
But no joke, like that's the craziest. Like we didn't know about this until like we did a podcast one time. He just randomly threw it out there. He's like, "Why don't you guys do FetLife?" We're like, "What the hell is that?" And crazy.
See, they're all family men. And
Like
I'm the
you talk about
bachelor.
cavemen. Turns out cavemen's a category on this fucking website, and so is what's the other version?
Vanilla.
There's-
Prey, and what?
There's primal. There's
Pray for your
prey,
life.
Primal prey.
middles, vanilla.
Eating
Daddy.
rotten food out of a fridge.
And women get on this site?
Yeah, anybody. Oh, there's all kind of women on there.
Fuck.
Not the
Man.
best, you know. Not something you would take home to your
Not,
mom.
not the most classy women.
But the type of girl that when you were in high school, you would have brought over your dad and he'd be like, all right, good job, son. I know you're not gay. Like it's those kind of women.
The kind of woman that has to shower for.
Wow.
Oh man, Pookie.
But it's online. It's free for everybody.
The kind you kind of bust your buddy's balls and shows him a picture. Like, whoa, dude.
The kind you talked about on Booze and the Dudes.
Direction than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We'll start talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different book.
Yeah. Match is more for
Jeez.
trying to find your actual. FetLife is trying to find your numbers.
I'll do the FetLife book when I give up on life.
Just an idea. Just an idea. You know, especially if you get that sophisticated part, you might be able to sell some shit right there.
I could see the name of that chapter, by the way. The name of that chapter would be
It's called "Fuck It." I'm tired.
FetLife.
It's time to go to bed.
No. FetLife. I really regret going here.
There you go. Yeah, it's one of those sites.
Well, the idea with Match is I'm thinking about putting, historic figures who would go on Match, like Napoleon on Match,
Hilarious.
freaking Catherine the Great on Match, or Cleopatra on Match, or
Oh shit.
you
Queen Mary or something like that.
Hey, I know you should go to FetLife because now that kind of concept would be more interesting.
He's saying it will work.
Just gave him an idea.
What kind of sub would Napoleon be? Would he be a fecophiliac, or
Nah.
would he just be a humiliation?
He knows what that means. He knows what these words are. He understands
Sigmund
Latin.
Freud.
No, I don't. I don't want
Be
to.
into the parent shit.
Yeah. Don't let him fool you. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to get to the ball.
Nah.
The
You gotta
next-
put
the next book is "Be the Balls."
for Napoleon.
Yeah,
Be the
the second one's Be the Balls.
That's awesome. They'd be like, "Is that a sequel?" No,
Has nothing to do with the other one.
not at all. They put it right next to it.
That's for another person. That's right.
Oh man.
Jeez.
So
Anyways, that's what
that's a
I'm
cool
thinking about
concept.
doing.
I really like that. That's a cool concept.
Yeah, because the rest of us, we're all married and happily forever. So like, he's the only one that's online, like dating. Really, like I don't know if any of
You
us
watch
have.
that H word around here.
Happy.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well,
Hey,
one of them is questionable.
Wow, good for you guys, man.
Dude, we're in our late 30s. We're getting to 40 and stuff like that. So I mean, we gotta get our shit together somehow.
I'm gonna.
I know. What do you guys do for your day jobs? What, like nuclear physicists? Or...
This one.
I
That's
just started at
He's got a
welding.
PhD in being a security guard.
I do security at a dispensary.
He's not lying at all. And by night, he's on FetLife.
And I don't smoke.
Dan, he doesn't smoke. That's the funniest part. They give him shit away, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank you." No,
He
thanks.
doesn't even smoke weed. He just works there.
I've got literally a dresser drawer now full of blunts that are joints that I just like. Oh, hey, you want one here?
Yeah.
Wow.
I also am a security guard for a private company. So it's one of the casinos, the Indian casinos around. So
Oh, what casinos in California?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
there's a
just started
handful.
welding for FedEx. So
There you go. And yeah,
Wow.
he's our machinist welder. Yeah.
I mean, this is
Okay.
real America here. This is great.
Oh, our other guy is even more so. He's a exterminator. Yeah.
he fucking
He's
steps
born and
on
bred for that
bugs.
My
He
gosh,
doesn't
man.
spray them. He just comes in
Yeah,
the
he
house
just
and
walks
starts
in.
stepping.
You call him, I'll squash him.
Yeah.
Point him out.
Point him out. What's we seen a live rat in the trap the other day. I had to call in a hit on it. Well, I'm not gonna kill it. So I said, my buddy David's
Oh,
gonna
he
come.
froze up again.
Oh, no, he's still there. Jim's still there. Jim's still there.
Oh yeah.
Cut him off, you guys. You don't know.
I thought
See,
you
now
froze
he's
up.
he's just fucking with us.
He's still fine. Yeah, I can see
No,
it. Yeah.
Jeff's still there. He's a little lag. It's fine.
All right, top 3 Caddyshack quotes.
Oh man, that's tough. But
Yeah,
you know what? I have them for you. Number 3, Spalding, get your foot off the boat.
That's a very random one too, by the
Yeah.
way.
I know. I just, for some reason, man, every time I watch it, when it comes to that thing, I just play it over and over again like a freaking maniac.
I want a hot
Then-
dog. I want chips. Yeah.
Number 2 would be, he told me I will receive total consciousness.
Gunga, gunga.
Yeah.
So I got that going for me.
And then, of course, my favorite, because I have a PhD in Smales too. But when he says, at
Hell's
the
that?
end, he says,
Males. God
the
damn.
man worthwhile is the man who can smile when his shorts are too tight in the seat.
Oh,
I mean, there's a gold mine of them. I mean, when we asked Danny Noonan, Michael O'Keefe, what his favorite scene is, he says, I can't pick one because every time that I go out in public or I'm on a golf course, people come at me with about 10 favorite scenes. You know, the movie strikes them so differently.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cause I mean, we used to fuck around when we were kids and do dumb shit, like just film stuff all the time. And like when we watch it back, a lot of people always liked other stuff. And like to us, it's more of our little key parts. Like we always liked this thing because
What
of what
TV
happened.
show was he in? Michael O'Keefe.
Roseanne.
There we go. I'm all in.
Oh, that's it.
Man, good call.
Here's a
How many
That's
people know
killing
that?
it.
here's a great little story about this asshole.
So
He got that got him pretty good at cigarette. So one day he's actually in a real fight with his brother, and his brother.
Older brother.
No, was it Mike or was
Yeah, it wasn't
Eddie?
Eddie.
I thought it was Eddie. No, yes,
Oh,
it
never
was
mind.
Eddie.
Little Eddie when he was tiny. We were all wrestling.
And he's literally getting choked by his little brother over something. And I'm watching this thinking like, well, you know, he's got him because he's a lot older than him, bigger than him. And you just hear him go, Eddie, your hands are freezing.
I'm not gonna beat him up. He's a tiny little guy. Just let him choke me.
Which is a Dumb and Dumber reference. And we're just like, in the middle of this guy being so angry at you, you're gonna fucking make a Dumb and Dumber
Yeah,
reference.
dude, you got her.
Hey, if you're gonna be
great.
choked out, you better make sure everyone's laughing first.
Right when you go out,
Go out with some dignity is all I'm saying.
it's like that was a good joke. Bam.
He choked you out, but man, you killed us right before that.
You lost, but you won in the end.
He's an asshole, not me.
Doesn't it scare you that there actually has to be somebody out there in this world that loves Caddyshack 2?
Ooh.
You know, man, I saw that movie. I forced myself to watch it
I
He was
think-
all
because I thought, oh, I'm good. You know, I hadn't read much about it, and I thought it
No
will
one
never
wanted to write
equal
about it.
the first one. And man, it was so awful. I just thought, how could they continue with the production of this thing, knowing it was such a loser? You know, and who was pouring? What kind of money was going into it?
That was like a producer's thing where they're like, you know, we're gonna make money on this either way.
Either
So
way.
it doesn't
Right.
matter.
yeah, it's part 2. People are gonna see it.
They,
Yeah.
they had Dan Aykroyd money, so
They did. That's all that mattered.
but
That's
They're using the title of the movie. They didn't care to do it any kind of justice. Just let's ruin it.
What movies do you guys? What do you think of the top comic movies? I mean, I've got my two. You know, Animal House and Caddyshack. Stripes is up there,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah, our big one probably that all of us agree on is probably Dumb and Dumber. But I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
my I got because I actually just
For
Are
me,
you-
I'll say it real quick 'cause I know what they are. Dumb and Dumber, Harold and Maude. That's it.
Harold and Maude is really good.
Yeah.
are you
Yeah,
Because I'm really into dark comedy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that movie to me nails everything around dark comedy.
Okay, real quick, since you said that, I'm gonna go like Royal Tenenbaums. That's like the best Wes Anderson one. Like Gene Hackman,
Wow.
I love that flick.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
are you
That's old too, man.
Well, to me, I mean, I got newborn kids, so like everything's old to me. I'm so far behind on shit.
No, I hear you. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, that's
Oh, but I mean, I'm catching up. Like how you're saying that. Like all my cousins and everybody that are dads are like, yeah, it is normal, dude. Like I'm brand new to having kids and shit. So to me, I don't care about anything else but them. Like forget TV. I don't care about
I
nothing.
hear you. That's why my three are all military officers. That's all I did is say this is the way you should go. So I understand the dad thing.
Yeah, that's a thought. Like, I mean, I don't know how your wife was about it, but I mean, my wife's actually already talked about that. 'Cause she's a college graduate too. So she's basically like, oh yeah, like why not? Why not get the military to pay for it for free? Fuck it. Like who cares? Like she's
Yeah,
on
well-
board. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, plus you get that character and discipline and all that stuff.
Plus they get to
yeah.
travel.
Were,
Like,
were you
to-
a strict dad, Jeff?
You know, no, I wasn't because
you this
my
movie was
ex-
Caddyshack, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I just
really.
the book that I wrote about it. I mean, I made everything loose. Everything in my house was a gag.
Right.
And there's still and the guys who are, you know, I mean, and these kids are, as I said earlier, they're badasses. Two are naval officers. One is at West Point.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Very
badass.
nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I was strict in the sense of, you know, I'm in charge. You're not.
Yeah.
You know,
That's not
like,
really strict.
everything
I'll
was a
choke you
joke.
out.
Everything was a gag. These kids were quoting Caddyshack at the age of 6. No joke. Literally, you know, it was no kidding. It was a funny thing, you know, to see a 6-year-old kid rip out a line from Rodney, you know.
Different era, I'm telling you, different
it's cool.
times.
Just
You're-
imagine
You're
how
not
many-
going to see 6-year-olds nowadays. You're going to see them quoting dumb stuff.
Just imagine like how many phone calls you got from teachers about the quotes.
They were all clean quotes, but yeah, I was pretty strict. But the big thing that they were into was athletics, and we sent them to private schools. And so they were always around kids who are really hungry, kids who are really driven.
Yeah.
And that's how they turned out the way they did. So, I mean, you guys as young dads, man, that's wow. I totally, I love that. I admire it because that's, you know.
Well, everyone except for this guy, unless you count the fleas in his beard.
Yeah, nah, if he has kids, he doesn't know about them. I mean, but the moms aren't asking, so it's all good.
Get on the road to
punches left and right.
I think what did you say?
No, go ahead and say it again, Jeff.
I said, get on the road to match, baby.
Nah, he's still fucking with that Fed life. He's still having fun over there conquering numbers.
You know, I'm more about, you know, hey, I'm more about spit on my dick.
He's got to find a chick who's into beards or has one.
he read that quote wrong about, like, you know, how many people you kill become your slaves in the afterlife. He thought it was how many people you sleep with become your slaves in the afterlife. So he's just been conquering numbers. He just has like a variety.
And looks don't matter.
Yeah. He's just looking for warmth and an actual woman nowadays.
He's not trying to conquer Everest. This is molehills. Kidding.
Molehills?
Kidding, brother.
A victory's a victory.
Yeah,
how well are you on Bill Murray 80s movies?
Pretty good. I mean, the Ghostbusters stuff is fantastic.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that was a franchise, 3 movies?
Yeah. Well, there's a 4th one coming out too.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Oh, the 4th one is really going to be the real part 3, not that.
Not that remake.
The remake.
Oh.
You know, that didn't count.
Not the one with Thor, right?
You know, it's Spider-Man.
No, Thor's in it.
Well, if you count that movie, if you count
Ghost Adventure or
the guy that plays Thor is in the Ghostbusters.
well, Chris Hemsworth, not
if
Thor.
you look
I know,
at the
but-
movie Ghostbusters 3, the redone one, it was actually an insult to the writing
Oh, horrible.
and genius of the other 2 Ghostbusters.
There you go.
So, I mean, people can go on and on and on about the other things that were piss poor about the movie, but to me, it didn't do service to the other ones. I was out after that.
Yeah, basically told you, like, if you like the first one, fuck you, because this is a new one.
I can quote those movies and laugh with friends. I can't quote anything from the other ones.
Yeah, and maybe
People looking at
going
me
back
like-
again to what you guys were when we opened this up about the writing and the comedy of then versus now, and you know, like you're talking about SNL just being one political, you know, tedious agenda item after another.
Yep.
And you know, Trump's not even around, and they're still doing it. It's like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
You know, you hated the guy. How many skits do we have to see?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Well, that's what Trump was ratings. Trump was ratings.
Yeah.
That's why they
Yeah.
reference it.
If you want to follow him, hashtag Trump reports.
And another thing about those guys who are in those movies that you guys have mentioned, all had normal lives. You know, Bill Murray grew up with 5 brothers, and he was actually a caddy on a golf
Oh,
course.
shit.
He was a normal guy. Danny O'Keefe, same thing. He worked on a golf course. He was a normal kid growing up in high school. Judge Smales was in World War II. He was the second guy to enter Berlin
Fuck.
son of a
because he could
bitch.
speak Polish and German, and he was pushed out ahead of all the
I
advanced.
just imagine he was like this.
Yeah. You go first.
Yeah, second, right.
Yeah. I speak Polish. I'm important.
Well, but all those guys, you know, Chevy Chase, the same thing, a normal life growing up, and then he hit it big with SNL. I'm not sure stars today have those kind of normal, you know,
Well, I don't
progression.
even think, like how you're saying, I don't even think that's a progression anymore. It's more like you're a YouTube star, movie instantly. Like there's
Yeah.
none of that shit of like,
Right.
oh, let's just try you out. You'll be a supporting actor in this. Or
Yeah.
It's just straight up.
I also
oh,
don't
this
think
is-
that those are certain people's goals. Like certain people's goals nowadays, things change. I
just to be
get it.
famous, make money.
But yeah, the goal is to be famous, not to be famous to support your family. Like, I don't like Billy Crystal or his politics, but he always took his family with him
Funny
on the
dude.
road.
Funny guy.
He always made sure his family was taken care of. He did comedy for his family. He didn't do it because, you know, he had a lot of reasons he didn't want to do it. So, I mean, you look personally, I look at comedy now, and people in comedy, they're there to steal funny jokes because they can't write their own, or they're there to dismantle things that are funny because they're based around truth. And we can't have that truth out there. So they stick an agenda on there and tell you, this is why this isn't funny. Anyways, let's move on. This is funny. It's like, no, it's not funny anymore. Comedy is applicable. If you can't apply it to a situation, it's not funny. You're just wandering around. Like,
Yeah.
what was the punchline? And that's me nowadays. What's the punchline to everything? I don't get it.
Yeah, you,
I feel like I'm just the only person who's not in on the joke. You know, yeah, I still like Dumb and Dumber and all these other comedies, but I do look at media nowadays and I'm like, what happened to all the good writers? Are they all dead? Did someone put them in the sea?
Yeah, like what he's saying made me think of something real quick. Like how was this book or your thesis taken in class? Like they don't really read them to other people, but I mean, how's your teacher's response or whatever, or your professor?
They laughed their asses off. I mean, they
Good.
couldn't believe that it could be pulled off.
But did you guys eventually share it or not even? Like, was it like
I didn't share it at all. I mean, I wrote it and then I put it out, and I just thought it's too funny. Just, I mean, the whole thing was kind of a gag, and it worked, and it goes back to because all these the writing, and it's how do I put it? It was the only way to capture the movie in a funny way, in a modern way. Like you were talking about the language. I mean, exactly.
Yeah,
The language is modern and woke, and that was the only way to make it funny. Because
to me, like, it was funny to me because I was reading it. I'm like, but to me, I was like, dude, like that would probably help me because like theses are made off of words and how many pages. Like I could probably fill in a whole page of just this bullshit of like, here's what this word means, by the way. Like, and then like, little things you got to just add in. So I guess it would have helped you make it easier, but at the same time, it kind of sucks to have to do that.
Well, figuring out half the words in this book took me double the time.
I know, man. I'm sorry about that.
I thought it was hilarious, but it's still like, even though it's only so big, it's going to take you twice the time if you're an average Joe like me.
He's all highlight that long word.
Yeah.
I know, the highlighter, right?
Yeah. My wife's a word Nazi. I'll just have her read the book to
And
me.
he's just Googling it.
Break it down for
What
me. Like
does
an idiot.
obnoxious mean?
Gas?
Well, I was going to ask you something.
Yeah, man.
But when it comes to Bill Murray movies, like my cousin got me onto this one comedy of his that I'd never heard of, and I was like, I watched it, I was like, this is fucking brilliant. Have you ever heard of or seen Where the Buffalo Roam?
Oh yeah, that was,
Hell yeah. Hunter S. Thompson.
That was one of his first ones.
Yeah.
And that came out right around Caddyshack, like 80, 81.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's old.
Yeah, I only knew about it because I love Fear and Loathing. And so from Fear and Loathing, I heard about that. And I was like, really, Bill Murray? I'm like, hell yeah, Bill Murray should be able to kill it too. And he did. It's a great film.
Yeah. And yet for some reason, it never caught traction.
Yeah.
To me, it's more of just like, it wasn't as visually as stunning as like Fear and Loathing. But Fear and Loathing, a lot of people that watch it, they're just like, it's cool to look at. It's like, no, dude, pay attention to what they're saying. Like, it's a great fucking film. Like
That movie's got like 3-4 layers.
Yeah,
That
dude,
movie
there's
is
so
crazy.
much to it. And most people were just like, yeah, look at that cool part with the dinosaurs. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
man?
that guy dropped so much truth bombs in
Yeah,
that
and what's his
movie,
name
it's
is in
crazy.
that? Is in Buffalo Rome, right?
Oh, Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle, yeah, he was great in that too.
Oil, right? But no, that Murray says that he likes that movie the best of anything he's ever done.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I read that in like a New Yorker or the Vanity Fair or something, magazine, and but that's one of his, and he's still killing it.
Yeah, I know
know
a bunch
for-
of his older movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know your favorite comedy. What's your, just for my own personal sake, what's your favorite drama? Do you have one?
Oh man, you ever see Michael Clayton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, man, and I'm kind of got the
Well, yeah, you were
bromance.
inside that. You know what that's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I got
That's
the
scary
bromance
if
for
that's
George.
applicable to your life.
There you go. Yeah, is that how applicable is that to you? Like how?
Oh, I mean,
Scary, that's some scary shit.
yeah, I mean, as a fixer in politics, I never had to do anything violent, but you
Yeah,
really
True, but
Sure.
have to be cunning, and you're
Allegedly.
constantly.
he's all, I didn't do it. Somebody else did. Duh.
I really had this in my head that like you're doing the Taken speech, but you're dropping Caddyshack lines in between them.
They don't know to
Go
be
for it.
serious.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh, I can't do it. I
You
got
have to do something.
Yeah.
I've got a particular set of skills. The Dalai Lama gave me one.
See, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, dude, come
I
on,
like
keep So next time you're on the phone or you're on the horn with one of your old military buddies, just be like, oh, hold on, oh my god, and then just switch over. I have to talk.
Do I take him serious?
But yeah, Clayton, I think that's a pretty tough drama, and I think I loved it.
You're making me want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really good.
Also, Up in the Air,
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
firing all those people. I mean, that's the real world. That's how it works. I know. I've been part of that. I've been fired. So, I thought when you talk about drama, I thought those were two really powerful, like God hit you in the gut.
You're fired.
How about you, man? Drama. Well, you guys
what's
got
yours, Richie?
Mine is a movie that's also kind of a thriller, but
Well, okay, real quick. My two are Donnie Darko and Fight Club. It's like a tie.
Oh wow, Fight Club.
Yeah, I try never to watch them. Like my favorite movies, I tend not to watch them unless I'm like feeling really, really bad. And then I'm always like, oh, I'm not that crazy.
Powerful.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Mine probably be Across the Universe only because
Beautiful.
it's a
Beatles.
Besides, it's Beatles, and my mom was a Beatlemaniac.
But it is a great musical.
Yeah,
Your mom's a liberal Democrat.
Okay,
Probably.
Great.
Whatever. She's still cool. I give her a hug.
He gets all upset. He's like, "Fuck you." I felt beautiful for a second.
You got yours
asshole.
yet? You have yours yet?
You have yours yet?
Mine was between Fight Club and another movie, but I know only Chuck has
I
seen
thought you were
it.
gonna say Fountain.
No, Fountain's good, but we're talking about drama, and Fountain's more of like almost falls into romantic. But yeah, it's that or like a simple gift, but it's like it's like crazy shit. But I do, for drama, I ask because I think the drama in our lives can either help make us a good person that helps society,
You learn
or it
something.
can make you someone who's bitter and thinks that society owes you something, and then you become someone who's actually bad for society.
You get hate or love out of the whole situation.
Yeah, like he said, like you said, you've been fired, you've been down that road, but look what you've done. Look what you finally made it to Booze and the Dudes.
Forget about everything else. You're finally.
You can't live after this.
I'm just wondering if you're gonna do a book
All your
on us.
accomplishments in the military, all the books you've written, you finally have made it to the pinnacle of Booze and the Dudes podcast.
Yes, I don't
It will
know.
never get better.
Nope. Your sons have an open chair anytime they want to come on here.
But we do appreciate anything you need to plug, Jeff.
Hey man, just if people want to laugh, I go back to what you were just saying right now. If you've got that comedy in your life every freaking day and you're laughing, man, you've got the world beat.
That's right.
Because you can get so easily drawn into the drama and resentment and bitterness of everything that's happened to you. And, man, no one gets a free ride. I know that. I'm a lot older than you guys, and I know that for a fact. But if you can, that's one of the reasons I wrote the book and the other two, because I spend a lot of time pretty loose and pretty happy-go-lucky. And
Sounds like it, dude.
so it's like life is a comedy, and if you just kind of keep thinking that way, you're gonna live that better life, and you won't be like you were saying, Reese, that drag, on society kind of thing. So
That's it. And then you can, like I said, if you have read the book, give Jeff a 5-star review on Amazon.
I did.
And we will
review
make
it.
sure
I
we
did
will
review it
all
on
give you a
Google.
5-star.
Oh, there you go. So look up Dick Sassy, right? Is it on Amazon?
It's
I
under.
believe I did too. So
I reviewed it under Beer and Bad Movies.
Oh, okay. There you go. So
But
Beer
it's
and Bad
there.
Movies review.
man, thanks a million. I appreciate it. Really, I'm no joke.
Yeah,
I
that's not
appreciate
even
you
an issue.
coming on here. That's
You do
cool.
that. Hell yeah,
we
dude.
appreciate you. And like I said, go to nelliganbooks.com for all the books that Jeff has written. And we really appreciate you being on the show.
Hey man, it's been a pleasure. This is the loosest I've been in a long time. Thank you guys.
Good to hear that, dude. It was great.
I hope so.
It'd be great to have you on again.
Yeah, dude. We could talk more about military stuff and everything else.
Yeah.
Up for
I
it.
know none about that, but when I get my match book comes out, my Fet Life book comes out.
Oh, there we go. Hell yeah, dude.
When you write that FetLife book,
Yeah,
you
just
give
put a
us a
special note
call.
for DK Murphy.
Make
Be
sure
like,
you're gonna go instantly on the show.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. So yeah,
All right.
man. Have a good one, Jeff. Thanks again, dude.
Thank you guys. See you, man.
All right,
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Take
All right,
care.
bro.
Hi, man.